Ugochukwu Amergo is a workplace attitude and peak performance expert, a premium business strategist, mentor, career and life coach. He is the chief visionary leader of Merignos Consulting and Mentoring Limited, a foremost Pan-African company focusing on study, research, teaching and certified knowledge as a primary asset for the process of wealth creation. Ugochukwu Amergo's mentoring and coaching experience and skills were developed at JP Morgan Chase Bank in the United States, where he was the lead facilitator in the Performance Management Review (PMR). Ugochukwu Amergo holds a bachelor's degree in accounting, and he was a certified tax specialist in the United States of America, a diploma in SMEs, creating growth through entrepreneurship and innovation at Galilee International Management Institute, Israel. With over 15 years of practice and experience in facilitating strategic management, business and investment training, he has facilitated programs and trained for JP Morgan Chase Bank, USA, Central Bank of Nigeria, Angel Foundation USA, Zenith Bank PLC, Fidelity Bank PLC, EcoBank PLC, Polaris Bank PLC, Staco Insurance, Bank of Industry Nigeria, Century Energy Services Limited, ITEX Integrated Software and Systems Limited, Nymeth Pharmaceuticals PLC, ExxonMobil, City Trust Holdings PLC, and TF Financial Services Ghana, among others. Being the founder of the Wealthineer Business Learning Community, he has birthed many top leaders in diverse industries through his world-class training sessions, masterclasses, coaching, and private mentorship sessions. Ugochukwu Amergo is regarded as the premium business strategist and mentor for success based on his long-standing record of raising successful leaders. Ugochukwu Amergo is sitting on different boards of companies and runs private mentoring programs for business owners, network marketing entrepreneurs, and corporate executives of Fortune 500 companies. An ardent learner and great listener, deep in his thought processes, passionate, dynamic, intense, and exceptional. Meet the certified knowledge champion, premium business mentor, and master of wealth creation processes. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the certified knowledge champion, Ugochukwu Amergo.
Come on, let's put those hands together and receive him as he comes. You can do better, you can do better. Oh, come on, don't stop clapping. Let's honor God, who's the giver of all gifts.
Okay, thank you. Praise the Lord. Okay, thank you. If I was going to give you $1 million, how would you clap? I know. Okay, let's get seated. Let's get seated. First off, I want to appreciate House on the Rock for this rare privilege to be part of the ministry today. Of course, you can agree with me, this is one of those iconic 21st century ministry that have raised a lot of leaders. It's one of those ministries where we look forward to. It's a dream ministry if you want to be granted the access to speak. Can we celebrate the ministry, ladies and gentlemen? And thank you, Pastor Uche, for the honor and the privilege and considering me credible to share the same platform with you. Thank you so much. And Pastor Ben, of course, we met in a very unique situation, and that was very amazing, the session I had for the investors in the company. And thank you for trusting and believing in me. I appreciate you. And then powerfully as well, the men's conference, the committee that put your time, your resources, and considering me someone that you can trust to teach your people. And as well, thank you for the resources you put together and for this privilege. I appreciate all of you. And also extend my wonderful appreciation to Pastor Paul Adefarasi for this wonderful ministry. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so how many of you would do whatever it takes to be wealthy? Raise your hand. Do I have extra mics? Have extra mics? Okay. Write this down. Life does not reward you according to your effort. Life rewards you according to your knowledge. Life does not reward you according to your efforts. Life rewards you according to your knowledge. In other words, the result you have in your life is not a function of the effort you make. It's a function of the quality of knowledge in the effort. And that is why two people can be in the same business with the same resources at the same time, and they will have two different outcomes. Do you agree? Two people can be in the same business, given the same amount of money, given the same resources, in the same situation, facing the same challenges at the same time, but the outcome will be different. Which means effort is a common denominator, knowledge is a differentiator. Effort is a common denominator. All men must make effort. If you're poor, you have to make effort to eat. If you're rich, you have to make effort to create wealth. So effort is a common denominator. But not all effort leads to the result you want. So the man you call a poor man, is he making effort? Is he trying? Is he waking up early in the morning? Is he grinding? Why is he not becoming rich? Because the effort is a neutral factor. The knowledge is the indicator of what happens in your life. So I'm going to put it this way. Life does not reward you according to your efforts. Life rewards you according to your definitions. So right now, the first statement was, life does not reward you according to your effort. Life rewards you according to your knowledge. That's general. But I'm taking it one notch up. Life does not reward you according to your knowledge. It rewards you according to your definition. That's the key word there. Have you seen lawyers who are broke? Talk to me now. Have you seen lawyers who are struggling with finances? Are they knowledgeable? Why are they still broke? Have you seen medical doctors who are struggling in their life businesses? Are they knowledgeable? Why are they still broke? Because there are two levels of knowledge, two types of knowledge. There is what is called esoteric knowledge, which is a knowledge meant for those who think, and exoteric knowledge meant for those who don't think. Now, what that means is that there are levels to knowledge. One day I was in my program in Lagos, and I had Professor Pat Tommy was in that program. Dr. Christopher Collade was in the program. I've crossed paths with a lot of great people who are very knowledgeable. So in that meeting, I asked Professor Pat Tommy to explain to me the processes of what happens inside a woman's womb when she's pregnant. He was lost. He was looking at me like, okay, what are you talking about? And I asked him again to teach me how to form policies in nations. Prof start going, Is Prof knowledgeable? In what? So what is the meaning of the word ignorance? Write it down. Ignorance. The word ignorance does not mean lack of knowledge. The word ignorance means lack of requisite knowledge on a particular subject. Ignorance means lack of requisite, specific knowledge on a particular knowledge. particular subject. So no one is a complete ignoramus, even the poor man. No one is a complete ignoramus. So the question is, the extent to which your life is rewarded is dependent on the quality of the type of knowledge you have. So, your life is rewarded based on the definition. Now, write this down. There are two types of definition. Please, I'll try to take some notes because I'm going to be asking so many questions in the class. If I ask you a question, you can't answer it, I'm going to ask you to stand up. If I ask you the second one and you cannot answer it, I'm going to ask you to come on the stage. If I ask the third one, you can't get it, I'm going to ask you to leave. Two levels of definitions. Number one, statutory definition. Number two, functional definition. Don't forget I said life does not reward you according to your effort. Life rewards you according to your what? According to your what? Definitions. Beautiful. Okay. So, the first level of definition is statutory. What does that mean? It means defining something for what it is, regardless of what you think it is. Statutory definition is defining something for what it is, regardless of what you think it is. So when I ask you the meaning of a word, please don't tell me what you think, tell me what it is. The second level of definition is functional definition, which is defining something by reason of application. By reason of application. So life does not reward you according to your effort. Life rewards you according to your definition. So one of the greatest power you have as a human being is in your ability to define your reality. And anything you cannot define overwhelms you. What you can define, you can modify. Please take as much note as possible. In the middle of the sessions, some of the meanings will come to you. Two levels of definition. Number one, statutory definition. What is it? Defining something for what it is, regardless of what you think it is. So if I ask you what is the meaning of something, please don't tell me my opinion. I don't want to hear that. I want you to tell me what that thing is statutorily, that if I take it to any part of the world, it means the same thing. But when I ask you for functional definition, you cannot tell me how that particular definition affects you in your unique situations. Remember, anything you cannot define overwhelms you. Anything you can define, you can modify. Okay. Furthermore, before I ask you the first question I ask you, for you to be wealthy and rich, you must possess three levels of knowledge. The first level is revelational knowledge. This is the knowledge you get from the study of the Word of God. Revelational knowledge is the knowledge you get from your relationship with God. That's what revelational knowledge, the source of revelational knowledge is relationship with God or the study of the Word of God. And this knowledge is meant to give you vision and revelation. That's what it's for. The second level of knowledge is theoretical knowledge, which is the study of strategies, which is the study of what man has done before your time to be able to understand how to do it better. That's theoretical knowledge. It focuses on strategy. Revelational knowledge focuses on vision. Why theoretical knowledge focuses on strategy? And what is strategy? Please write this down. Strategy is finding out the most effective and efficient way to get results in the shortest possible time with least effort. Am I talking too fast or are you listening too slow? Let me tell you, some of us in this room today, most of us have not read a book in the last 15 years. I'm sure if you open our brains, you see cobwebs there. Because it is not what I said, it's the quality of your understanding. Because I can say the same word, you have different understanding. So, theoretical knowledge talks about strategy. And strategy is finding out the most effective and efficient way to achieve a result in the shortest possible time with least resources. Strategy is about getting result on time. Strategy is about getting result with less resources. I don't want you to be a rich man at the age of 90. I want you to buy your Ferrari at earlier age so you can have enough skin to enjoy the leather. Come on, talk to me. I don't want you to get results when you have no presence of mind to enjoy it. You see, if you're 50, if you're 25, if you're 50 years old, and you know what 50 years old people know, you're intelligent. If you're 25 and you know what 50 years old know, you're wise. Wisdom is knowing what is obvious when it is still a secret. So I want you to get results. Finish it. When you have the presence of life to enjoy the result. I don't want you to be a billionaire at the age of 98. That's what strategy is. Strategy is about getting result in the shortest possible time with least effort. Now, it might not mean anything to you, but if your leg was bad at the age of 1 year, 6 months, strategy will be important to you. No, you didn't get the story. I mean, when I was born, I had polio 1 year, 6 months after I was born. Physically, I was disadvantaged at the age of 1 year, 6 months. Now, growing up, 90% of the time, people are always helping me. And it made me become indebted without asking for anything. You know, when you have physical challenges, if I was going to go out to that door right now, when I get there, the chances are I'm going to need someone to help me. And law of life, one of the 8 laws of wealth says the laws of exchange, right? Laws of exchange means that value will always come back to the source of value. So if someone helped me at the door, even when I didn't ask for it, I'm indebted already. So I see people giving me help, and I become indebted without remembering that I asked for something. Because situations of life have put me in a place where I have to need help. And I remember one of the days, I having a meeting with my friends. And it was meeting, and I wanted to contribute. They asked me to shut up. I said, why? He said, because I help you all the time. I'm like, really? So I found out that I had to pay for that particular situation, even though I wasn't asking for it, because somehow life has put me in a position where someone has to help me physically. You know what I decided to do? If I come for a meeting like this, I will have a lot of good things, apple, orange in my pocket. And I ask you, are you thirsty? You say, yes, I'll give you an orange right now. When we get to the door, you pay me back. So we are squared. So life has put on me a situation that strategy is my second nature. So what does that mean to you? The third level of knowledge is experiential knowledge. Experiential knowledge. This is the knowledge you get through practice and mentorship. Through what? Practice and mentorship. Do I still need it? You want me to sit close to it? Okay. Okay. So, the third level of knowledge is experiential knowledge. This is the knowledge you get from practice and mentorship. And guess what? Mentorship is the best way to get competence. And I'll tell you why. A mentor does not take away the process, he simply shows you the right steps. A mentor accelerates your result while reducing your mistakes. What took me 10 years to do can take you 5 years if you follow my steps. The reason why it took me 10 years is I had to make all the mistakes. And that's why I told you, a mentor will not take away the process because the process sustains your capacity to sustain the success. He simply shows you what? The right steps. And time will not permit me, but we're going to learn the 6 levels of expertise. There's so many dreams here. Some of you have so many big ideas, big dreams, but you sabotage those ideas with lack of competence. I have seen people who mess up good companies. Good ideas, good strategy, bad implementation. So expertise level is very critical to becoming more successful in your venture. So let's take it again. 3 levels of knowledge. Number 1, revelational knowledge. Where'd you get that from? From the study of the Word of God or from relationship with God. What you're supposed to get from that is called what? Vision. But vision can be frustrating without strategy. I have seen people who have great ideas. God spoke to me. God told me that. God told me this. But at the point of strategy, they don't know what to do. And what is strategy? Finding the most effective and efficient way to get resolved in the shortest possible time with least effort. So strategy is give him an orange. By the time we get the door, he opens the door for me. But if I don't do that here, I'll have to beg there. Does it make sense? Okay. That's theoretical knowledge. What's the last one? Experiential knowledge. What is that? That's the knowledge you get from practicing over and over. But it's better through mentorship, because a mentor will tell you the right steps so you avoid all the unnecessary stuff. See, the number of years it took most of us to get result was not necessary if you knew better. So, 2 levels of definition. Number 1, statutory definition and functional definition. What is statutory definition? Defining something for what it is, regardless of what you think it is. Second one, defining something by reason of application and use. Please clap for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's nice. So let's now start. Can we start the class now? Good. How many of you would do whatever it takes to be wealthy? Whatever. Okay, let's take it back again. Okay. If you are wealthy, stand up. If you're wealthy, like, why some people are looking at my back? Okay. Let me check my neighbors, whether or not. Okay. If you're wealthy, like, okay, sit down. Okay. You did not stand up. If you're a man, stand up. Okay. Sit down. If you're a woman, stand up. Okay. Then sit down. Write this down. You can never become what you are not. See that little boy, the male child has a man in him already. He has to grow up into the man that he already is. Which means a little puppy has a dog in him, but he can never become a lion. So, if you are not wealthy, you can't become one. How many of you want to be wealthy? You know, you're raising your hand because you are not. See? How many of you want to become men? How many of you want to become women? How many of you want to become wealthy? You cannot become what, which means you are it first before you manifest it. But in your psychology, you don't know you are. You think it's by external activity that you become what you're not internally. Now write this down. Wealth is God's concept. It's not man's concept. Wealth, if you go to Deuteronomy 8:18, he will tell you, thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth the power Which means before you were physically on earth, the idea of you was born out of the concept of wealth. Inside of your genetic code is encoded the divine capacity to create. That capacity is called wealth. And if you check the word, okay, let me come back. How many of you would do whatever underline, slanted, showing red like blood, to be wealthy? Okay, if you will not do whatever it takes to be wealthy, raise your hand. If you will not do it. Because you will not do whatever it takes. You will not do whatever it takes. Can I get the microphone? Can I get the microphone? Mike, please give it to my brother right there. What would you not do to be wealthy?
Praise the Lord. As a Christian, I have principles that guide me. And as a Christian that desires to walk in the fullness of the wealth that God has placed on my inside, my responsibility is to be guided by those principles.
Beautiful. So what would you not do to be wealthy?
What doesn't align with my principles?
Example.
Blood money.
Blood money.
Yahoo, yahoo.
Yahoo, yahoo. Yeah, more.
Gun running.
Gun rolling.
Yes.
If you do yahoo, yahoo and get money, is it wealth?
No, it's not.
If you get blood money, is it wealth?
It's not.
So what is wealth?
Wealth is living out what God has placed on my inside.
Is that statutory definition of functional?
Statutory. For me, that's what it is.
Anything you cannot define, anything you can define, you can modify. We're going to be here till 8 p.m. Who's with me? Stay with me. The word wealth means kahil, K-H-A-H-Y-I-L. So let's take away our personal opinion and look at the word wealth is on the Bible. In Deuteronomy 8:18, that word means kahil. It means virtue. Please write it down. It means virtue. It means resourcefulness. It means kindness. It means faithfulness. It means honesty. It means transparency. It means fidelity. It means compassion. That's what wealth is. Now, take my personal opinion away. That word there, kahil, is the Hebrew word for wealth. Now, that was the same word that was used in Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? It's the same word. That word there, virtue, means kahil. So let's put the right word in there. Who can find a wealthy woman? Now, what it says for her price is far above cash. The word rubies is a means of exchange, which means wealth is beyond the cash you pay. Now, wealth will not demand you to do Yahoo. It's correct. So, part of the reason why people are not succeeding is that the ideological framework for what they believe in is wrong. So why would you, how many of you will do whatever it takes to go to heaven? Raise your hand. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to go to heaven. Whatever it takes. Why? Heaven will not demand you to do what to disqualify you. Why did you put Yahoo, blood money into wealth when it has nothing to do with that? Because our concept of wealth is already perverted. How many of you do whatever it takes to be wealthy? See, when I change your ideology, I change your behavior. Let's clap for that. Once your ideological framework is changed, your action will correspond to that. So what that means is, when I say I'll do whatever it takes to get well, I'll be more compassionate. I'll go beyond and above being honest. I'll go beyond and above being faithful. Wealth would never demand you to do anything that contradicts the advent of wealth. Now, the challenge is our definition is our greatest undoing. I was teaching in Babcock University someday. I'm 52 this year. I was 35. I was teaching in Babcock University. In that program, I was teaching the anatomy of knowledge to the undergrads. The anatomy of knowledge. That's about 16 years ago. As I was doing that training with those young people in the university, one of the speakers was a permanent secretary of Lagos State who was beside me. She was in her 60s, about 60 or 65. As I was teaching these young people, this woman said, Mr. Ugo, this is so crazy, this is amazing, that I shouldn't be teaching these young people, I should be teaching people like her. I said, well, the tendency for them to listen to me is higher. Your mind is already formed. So dealing with you is dealing with an already made, blocked mindset that the tendency of you changing your mind is going to be quite difficult. She said, I'm going to invite you to our program. I have this program where I have about 45 PhD holders, and I want you to come and teach us on this concept of wealth. So I said, okay. So she invited me. I came in. When I walked into the hall, there were about 45 of them, 65 and above, all of them PhD holders. I walked into the hall. I'm 35, young, fresh. We're still fresh though, right? Okay. I walked into the hall and I said, listen, gentlemen, if you are an old man or old woman, I want you to get on your feet. Guess what they did? They all stood up with pride. They stood up, struggling with their chairs. They stood up like that. And I said, the next thing I said was not nice. I said, well, I do not speak with old people. If you're an old person, I want you to get out of the hall right now. How do you think they felt? They felt right. They said, who brought this little brat to come and talk to us anyhow? I said, I'm sorry. I know you guys are angry at me, but before you throw me away, can we check the meaning of the word old? I said, bring your phone out. They brought their phones out and they typed OLD. What came out as the meaning was out of use, antiquated, useless, and weak. I said, any old man in the house, keep standing, they all sat down. Yes. And I said, you are 65 old, you are a PhD holder, and this is the very first time in your life you're getting to know the original meaning of the word old. How many other things have you heard when you're young that are wrong in concept? But if you're working on that wrong concept for the last 25 years, you're putting all the effort you can, but the concept is wrong. You know what I found? The greatest obstacle to success is no longer ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge. When your fundamental belief is based on a wrong concept, and you think is right because it's the first thing you knew. Wealth has nothing to do with criminality. Just write it down. Wealth has everything to do with virtue. Wealth has everything to do with your faithfulness. Wealth has everything to do with your consistency in productivity, in delivering good ideas and being resourceful. There's nothing, no correlation between wealth and criminality. It is a wrong ideology that you got that made you think that you can actually be considered wealthy because you have money. Ideological framework. Why am I starting this way? Because everything I'm going to teach you doesn't matter if your ideology is wrong. If you have the wrong philosophy, it doesn't matter what I teach you because you use your wrong philosophy to consider what I'm saying. So first of all, we fix the ideology before we fix the strategy. Are you with me? For example, how many of you know that knowledge is overrated? What did I say? Learning is superior to knowledge. What did I say? Learning is superior to knowledge. It's kind of quite very delicate balance to begin to disassociate or make a differential between learning and knowledge. Do you know people have knowledge, right, based on what they have done? But if you're not conscious of what you've done while you're doing it, you're not learning. I have seen billionaires in my class who become very rich and their children become poor because they didn't track the knowledge they applied while they're applying it to be able to transfer to their children. I have seen billionaires, I can tell you for free, who are crying, I don't know what my children are doing, but they went out there, did all the right things, but they don't know what the right things were while they were doing it. So when I ask you, how did you become wealthy? They say, by the grace of God. No, you lie. Any result you cannot repeat, the first one was a mistake. Let's write it down. Any result you cannot repeat, the first was a mistake. In fact, any outcome you have whose process you did not observe is an illusion. Why are you running a business and the business is not thriving? It's a science. Well, you made 100 million 2 years ago, and in 2025 you're struggling. So what did you do right? You don't know. That's why learning is superior to knowledge. Knowledge is a byproduct of learning. Learning is much more of the conscious observation of doing while the action is still ongoing, to be able to track down what is working and why it is working, so that after you've got the result, it can document what worked and be able to repeat next time. Oh, I wish someone is following what I'm saying. I wish someone is following. Are you following me? No, for real? Are you with me? Any result you cannot repeat, finish it. The first was a mistake. So why are you 45 and broke? Because you didn't observe. If I take your bank statement right now, all of you in this hall, you've made so much millions, but you still wonder where the money went to. You know why it's difficult for people to learn? Because it shows you how stupid you were the last minute and makes you wiser the next minute. Can I go deeper? 2 levels of definition. Number 1, statutory definition. Number 2, functional definition. What is statutory definition? Defining something for what it is, regardless of what you think it is. So your opinion doesn't matter. What's functional? Defining something by reason of application. Okay? The ladies, raise your hand. Ladies, raise your hand. Ladies. It's men's. Yeah, you guys all say yes. What is this, ladies? Say it louder. What is this? The man, what is this? Huh. What is this? Crutches. Good. Anybody from Yoruba here? What is this? Oh, good. Igbo. Any Igbo person here? What is this? Crutches, right? Yes. If I take this into China, what would they call it? Crutches. Any Hausa person here? Hausa. Yes, what is this? Crutches. See? Universal, which means it's not gender sensitive. It does not have any religious bias. No political affiliation. What is this? Crutches. See? Pastor, come, please. Okay. Pastor, come, watch this. Come over. If I take this and break Pastor's head, what would you call it? What would you call it? You call it a weapon. See? Watch this. What is this originally meant to do? Walking state. What is it originally called? What is it meant for? Now, and I use it to break Pastor's head. What would you call it? What if the very first time you saw this item, and it was the first time you saw it, it was being used to beat someone? What would you call it statutorily? What is it meant for actually? Which means you can meet a good concept in a bad context. So I ask people, in whose hand, in whose life was money first introduced to your life? If you met the concept of money in the hand of a poor man, you get the poor concept of money. Most of us were born in poor families. Our first contact with money was a man struggling with his life. So we now think that making money is the hardest thing to do. Then you want to clap right there. Thank you, Pastor. Does it make sense? So there's a conceptual dysfunction of our belief that's affecting our effort. So the first thing you correct is the ideological framework before you put strategy. Let me tell you, all of you are so smart. If I fix your ideology, you figure out what works for you, because strategy changes all the time as situations change. But ideology determines the outcome. Okay? Have you heard this statement? The only thing that is permanent is change. Have you heard that statement? That the only thing that is what? Like change is a constant. Have you heard that before? How many of you truly believe that? Okay. You guys, you don't know what to say now. Like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to say now. How many of you believe that? But that's not true. Values don't change. Honesty 400,000 years ago is still honesty today. There's no honesty of 2025. Come on, talk to me right now. Honesty 50 billion years ago is still honesty today. Oh, come on. Crazy. So if you build your business around those unchangeable values, it doesn't matter who is in government. It doesn't matter which country you are in. I set up one of my companies in South Africa last month. I'm not even going to run it. But the ease with which I penetrated the country was so charming, you think I had a special grace. In other words, let your principle of wealth be anchored on the laws of God, which is universal to all men. Just write it down. Let the principles that you have about business be anchored on the laws of God that is universal. I said earlier that wealth is God's concept. It's not man's concept. It's not an American's concept. Because these people have made us believe they are the standard of life. Can I tell you the truth? There is no superior race in the world. There's only superior knowledge. Whoever has superior knowledge becomes the superior race. Men make policies and rules, God make laws. Laws is superior to policies. You can overwrite any policy of man if you operate at the highest level of divine laws. The laws of God is universal to men, true or false? What are those laws? You don't know it. You think wealth is by your effort. Well, check me out. Because if it's effort, I'm disadvantaged. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be in the street asking you for money. And I'm sure when I was coming, sometimes I'm going to speak in big conferences and I'm walking up the stage, I'm coming in with wheelchair, I'm going up the stage, and everybody say, hey, yeah, look at that man, and they're clapping, they're having sympathy on me. And when I get up the stage and open my mouth, they start having sympathy on themselves. Because your situations attract sympathy, your values attract respect. Now you forgot I was wobbling on that staircase. You don't remember it anymore because your mind is seeing the internal capacity of myself that you begin to honor me, not because you're like a guy on crutches, because the values I have commands who comes to me. No one is born poor. You are born human. No one is born poor. No child. The day a child is born, watch this. Oh my God, I wish I can have more time today. Oh goodness. When a child is born in a rich family, he is born human, not rich. When a child is born in a poor family, he is not born poor. He is born human. So you're never born rich or poor. You are born what? Human. Now watch this. Stand up. Stand up, Pastor, please. Okay? Okay. So take this water. Okay? Pastor, bring me a water. Take a bottle of water with you. Okay? Pastor, come over here. Yeah. So that's a poor man, that's a rich man. I'm just saying, for example. Right? That's poor, that's rich. Okay. And that's your child. That's your child right there. That's your child right there. Is he a poor child or a rich child? He's human. Okay, I'm going to take your child. Give me a child. Your child has your DNA, has your genetics. This is 4 months old. I'm going to give it to you. Give me your child. You're a billionaire, and that's your child. So, which means your child has your blood, your DNA, and this is 4 months old. I'm going to take your child. I'm going to give it to him. You're going to raise this child. He's going to raise this child. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Which one of these children will be wealthy and rich? Why? Because your mind configures his brain. Even though the DNA says poor man, his psychology says rich man. So you are not born rich or poor. You learned poverty. You can learn wealth. Oh, come on. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, sirs. It's crazy. You are not born poor or rich. You are not born poor or rich. You are born what? You are born human. You learned everything you have today. You learned it. And the reason why I can teach you is because you have the capacity to learn. If you put a dog and cat and lion in front of me, I can teach them. The capacity to understand me, they don't have it. See this guy, see right here? I built him. I made a choice of a life. I choose a course of action. I stayed consistent in that course of action. Boom, the guy you see right here. Poor men look for cash, rich men look for knowledge. The last time I checked, those who look for cash don't have it. Let's write this down. Wealth is a science. It's a science. It's not a guesswork. You don't guess your way into wealth. You can stumble on cash, but you can't stumble on wealth. I'm sorry. I can transfer to you $2 million right now. If you don't have the corresponding wisdom and knowledge and experience, you can't sustain it. You can randomly have your brother in government. You can randomly have your brother being a minister. And boom, they give you all the big contracts without the corresponding wisdom on how to build value to correspond it. You're going to be broke at the same time. You are not born poor. You are born human. You learned every other thing you have today. So write this down. You can learn your way into wealth. You can learn your way into wealth. You can learn your way out of poverty. You can learn your way into wealth. Let me tell you, you've heard about wealth, but you've not heard it long enough to make sense in your life. You have attended seminars where they talked about it, and you went back to people who are poor like you. So whatever you learned in seminar was erased by the people around you. Let me ask a question. After this program today, who are you going back to? Are you with me? Write this down. Until what you know becomes what you do, you don't know anything. Until what you know becomes what you do, you don't know anything. The evidence of learning is an improved outcome. The evidence that you've learned something is that your outcome have changed. The reason why I'm here today is that after this men's conference, especially in the next few hours, you're going to leave here with a particular instruction on what to do to change your outcome. Would that be nice? Would that be a nice thing? I'm guaranteeing you that. In the next 2-3 years, one of you here will meet me somewhere at the airport, in the airport, at the plane, and say, Mr. Ogo, I was in that program. Let me show you what I've done. I get that all the time. I've seen men who have built empires who say, Mr. I was in your class 15 years ago. You walked me out. You said my poverty is so visible that we don't want to see you. Go back and change. I mean, like, I got into trouble all the time, right? All the time. I get into trouble all the time. Okay? So before I continue, let me check whether or not you've learned something, okay? I'm going to ask you a question. If you don't answer it, you're going to have to leave the hall. So look at your note again. So I'm coming hard at you. Yeah. Now, yeah. There are two categories of people in the hall today. How many categories? The first category are those that are hearing me, and the second category are those that are listening to me. Please write it down. Two categories. Those that are hearing me and those that are listening to me. You're going to find out now. I'm going to show you what to do. Now the question is, what is the difference between hearing and listening? That goes back to definition again. See now, right? Now write this down. Hearing is your bodily ability to observe sound, while listening is your mental capacity to record what you heard. Hearing is your bodily ability to observe sound, while listening is your mental capacity to record what you heard. You hear with your ears, but you listen with your mind. Your ears hear words. Your mind converts those words into pictures. Okay? Can you touch your ears? Touch your ears. What does it look like? It's like a satellite dish. How many of you know if I cut your earlobes right now, if I cut this thing out, you'll be never hearing a distinct sound, you'll be hearing woo sound? This is a wave collector. Have you seen dogs sometimes? They do it like this. They do it like that. It's wave, it's like antenna, right? Can we clap for God for being such an artistic person? Okay, so see, this is for words. This is for words. So as I'm speaking to you, the data into your brain are my words. What your brain does is to convert those words into pictures until the words you hear becomes pictures. You can never practice it. You only practice pictures, not words. Yes. Which one? So follow me now. You know why I'm so slow? I'm very quiet. I'm very calm. Is because the impact is what I'm concerned about, not an impression. You can be impressed by me without impact. I don't care about that. Okay. You hear with your ears, but you listen with your mind. Hearing is your bodily ability to observe sound. Hearing is your bodily ability to observe sound. All of you are hearing me. While listening is your mental capacity to record what you hear. The key word is recording to remember. Say it again. Recording to remember. But you don't have to remember the words I said. You remember the picture your mind created. So that's why it takes a lot of mindfulness to learn. Because as I'm talking right now, those who are good to learning, they're always taking notes. In fact, if I see a lot of CEOs who are doing very well, when they're making notes, they're drawing pictures and graphs. In fact, as I'm teaching, someone is taking that particular thing to a particular business function. Okay, I'm supposed to do this. They write it down, they make a circle, they draw pictures. That's the way to translate abstract knowledge into visual effect. The extent to which your mind can create pictures about what I'm saying determines how much of that I can go with you. And that's why I'm very ruthless in making sure people pay attention, because your result validates my wisdom. Come on now. Come on now. You know what brought me to House on the Rock, a great place to be? Pastor Uche told me that someone amongst the men said, my brother's life has changed by this man. It is better that men hear about you before they hear from you. Which means your value will travel places your leg can't. So anytime you are doing any service or creating any kind of relationship with people, what should guide you is impact. And maybe if time permits me, next time we have this meeting, I'm going to share some secret about how to run a business globally and start from zero to something you want. Listen, every individual you're talking to in business has capacity to influence 300 people on a direct contact. So you're not talking to one person, you're talking to 300 people. If you know that statistics, you will treat one person as though it's 300 people, because that's you marketing your product right there. So be visible by value, not by hype. Say it again. Be visible by value, not by hype. Are we good? Are we good? So in this first session, I'm attacking ideology first. Okay. When we get into the second session, then we'll go into some details of what to do. So in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 18, is shocking. The word of God is powerful. It's a foundation for wealth. And I'm not telling it to you as a religious person. I'm telling you that's what I do. Matter of fact, men of God are those who talk about what God is saying, where men of faith are those who are doing what God is saying. Please write it down. Men of God are those who are talking about what God is saying. Men of faith are men doing what God is saying. So you see our own faith in the actions we take in the businesses, and the result of the business becomes a proof that word of God works. There's so many men of God who are not men of faith. But every man of faith is a man of God. Come on, talk to me. Are you with me? Right? So, Proverbs 13, verse 18, I think. Can I have it? Proverbs 13, verse 8. Look at what it says. Let's read it. I want to go, everybody. Let's go. See, poverty is lack of following instruction. It's not lack of money. Poverty, please write it for the first time in your life. Let me tell you, for the first time in your life, I'm telling you, poverty is not lack of money. Write it on your note. Poverty is lack of the requisite knowledge. Poverty is lack of the requisite knowledge on how to create wealth, how to create social capital, on how to be healthy. Please write it down. That's 3 dimensions of poverty: health, social, and wealth. Poverty is lack of the requisite knowledge on how to create wealth, on how to create social capital, on how to be healthy. Lack of knowledge of how to do creates. So lack of money is a symptom of poverty. When you don't have money, it means you don't know how to create wealth. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you're a poor person. It just means you don't know how. Does it make sense? Is it relatable? Right? It is not that you are poor, it's that you are poor in the insufficiency in a particular set of instruction. That's what it means. Which means if you're sitting right here to give me a man that is broke, $0 his account, and give it to me for 12 months, I'll return back to your multi-millionaire on one condition: that he's teachable. There's nothing wrong with you. Now, if you go to Proverbs 13, verse 22, you're going to see it. Proverbs 13, verse 22, you're going to see it. What it says here. It says, much food is in the fallow ground of the poor. Let's read it again. Much food is where? In the fallow ground of the poor. Before you finish the statement, where is the food? How much ground? How much food? On whose ground? So why would you call a man poor whose ground has much food? This man has a land, there's much food there, and he still call him poor. This is the next sentence. Said, for lack of judgment, decisions, for lack of wisdom, the land lays waste. So the man you call a poor man is an untrained, wealthy man. There are good reasons why you can be poor, but there's no valid one. Good reasons means you're born in a poor family, I understand. Good reasons that you had polio 1 year, 6 months, I understand. Good reasons that you're born in Nigeria, I understand, but none of them is valid. But I can show you people in the same situation who have become more successful. In closing, for the first chapter of this relationship, first what? First chapter. Okay. Is that wealth is built on laws. Wealth is built on laws. So for the first time, let me help you not to work too hard anymore. The Bible says, do not overwork to be rich. That's what the Bible says. See, this hard work is already killing people. Some people are dying because of this hard work. Muslim said, you have worked hard enough, but you have not learned deep enough. So, your hard work satisfied, good, 100%. Knowledge part, 0.5. Now, let's change the game. For the first time in your life, I'm going to lay the record straight. And if you do 10% of what I'm going to teach you, I guarantee you, even in 2025, you can have a good result. Look at what it says in Joshua 1:8. It said, this book of law shall not depart from your mouth. You shall do what? Meditate in it on Sunday. Huh? No, you shall meditate it on this Wednesday mid-service. When? When? Now, and that you may do, observe to do. No, not read to do. Observe the practice of the principle you read. There's so many principles you read and you have not observed its practice. Observe to do. When you observe the happenings of something, you become a witness. When you read about something, you're not a witness. A witness is a person that saw the event happen. There are so many principles you've read, you have not observed the practice. So, I know all this. Why am I broke? Because there's something is missing. Observation. Observe to do the part you like. Observe to do all that is written. What is the condition? For then. So that means the condition for wealth is based on the practice of the law. Let's read again. This book of law shall not depart from your mouth. You shall meditate in it day and night, and then observe to do the part you like, all that is written. Read again. For then, condition, for then you will make your way prosperous and have good success. So there's a condition for wealth. Please write it down. So God is not going to give it to you because you're born as a child of God. You got to learn how to become wealthy. You're not interested in that. So let me close. Laws guarantees wealth. The laws of God guarantees wealth. And that's why I told you, any result you cannot sustain, the first one was a mistake. The laws. How many of you think David in the Bible was a wealthy man? How many of you think he was a wealthy man? If a rich man was rich, right? Now look at Proverbs 119, Psalm 119, verse 27. This is verse 97. This is David talking. Then I'm going to close with this. And then when we come back, and if you want to be poor, this place is the wrong place to be right now. I guarantee you, if you stay here long enough, your poverty will leave you alone. If you like poverty, don't come back for the second session. Would that cool? Is that cool or not? Yeah. If you love poverty, if you're so good that you don't want to do more. Matter of fact, how many of you believe you can do better than what you do right now? No, for real. Like, how many of you believe that you can do better than? Okay, let me assume you are a billionaire, you have $10 billion in your account. How many of you still you can do better? Okay? Because man is a continuous project, right? Now it says in Psalm 119, verse 97. Look at what it says. Let's read it. Want to go? That's David talking. Oh, how I love your laws. It is my meditation all the time. Who said that? Which law? Joshua 1:8. Now, verse 98, look what it says. 98 says, this is so crazy. It says, your thoughts, your commandment, make me wiser than my enemies, for they are with me forever. The laws. Now, let me show you where this guy is so arrogant that he makes the enemy begin to want to fight him. Verse 99 says, I have more understanding than all my teachers, because of your laws. So if you're 25 and you know the laws of God, and somebody is 60 and he doesn't know it, finish the statement. You're wiser. Listen, thank you for your time. This is the first version. And when we come back, then we'll go into the details. I love you. Let's take a break. Pastor Ben.